Thank you for tuning in. The purpose of this video is to help you be as informed as possible in making a decision whether or not investing in a rental property is for you. Let me start out with telling you what it's not. Investing in rental properties is not a get-rich-quick program. It's more of a get comfortable slowly and certainly and enjoy like your retirement kind of thing. There's a rule of thumb when you're doing investing that you really want to find out where you're going to get the greatest return on your investment, because if you invest $100 and it gives you $1 back, that's in a calendar year, that's a 1% return. That's not wonderful. It's much better if you invest $100 and you get 10 back. Now you're at 10% return on investment. So having the right return on investment is very important. When you invest in a rental, there's actually 4 ways that you actually make money. The number one is the obvious one. It's the rents collected. If you invest in a rental and your mortgage is $1,500 and you're collecting $2,000 in rent and you have a property manager and it's 10%, that'd be $1,800. You have $300 positive cash flow every month. Now, that is not a windfall of money, and for the amount of money that you have to put down to buy a rental, it seems like a small return on investment. However, there's other benefits. The biggest income producing part of a rental investment is what's called asset gain. And asset gain is where your home just keeps going up in value every single year while you sleep. We'll go more into that later. The other thing that helps you is when you're collecting the rents and servicing the mortgage, a portion of your mortgage is principal, and that portion reduces the balance of your mortgage using your tenant's money collected in rents to do so. Also, the interest that you pay on the mortgage is tax deductible against your rental, which lowers your income potential. It lowers your income tax on the property because you get to offset the interest on that. Then there's basically the tax benefit the government gives you of depreciation. The next thing is the strength of the investments. Unlike stocks, where if you buy a penny stock or a stock that may go high, a company can go bankrupt and your stock can go to zero. However, when you invest in real estate has never gone to zero. Even the times when we had the hugest reversals that we've ever seen, it was 20 or 30% reversal of value, but those reversals only followed 5 and 6 years of 20% gain. So if you're up 120% and it goes down 30%, it's not really a loss, it's a correction because the market had overinflated. But historically, over a 200-year window, we see a historical performance of 3.5% to 4% in the United States of America. 30 years of mortgage allows you to leverage your asset position that you get to not tie up your reserves so quick. It lets you get more rentals, putting yourself in a larger equity position in the market. Because let's say a rental's $250,000, you have one of them, the market goes up 10% that year, you made $25,000 in equity while you sleep. If you buy 4 of them by getting 30-year mortgages and only putting 20% down on each one, you're now into the market with $1 million worth of assets. And if the market goes up 10%, you went up 100 grand in 1 year while you sleep. Now, the beauty of it is as the equity grows, the only way you can really access it is either to sell it, in which case the government will take most of your asset, almost 50%, in something called recapture taxes, capital gains taxes, and then it commingles with your income. And it all comes together and you get taxed 6 ways to Sunday. If you don't sell it, they give you the benefit. So the way most landlords will access their equity is they do something called a cash out refi, where you can go to a settlement table, remortgage the house, get a big check, and then the tenant's rent will cover the difference in the new mortgage. If rates go down, you can actually have a lower payment and walk away from the table with money. It's a beautiful way to access your equity as it grows. If you are getting involved and your goal is purely cash flow from the rental, you should focus on duplexes. Duplexes require 25% down. In Delaware, they're a challenge because many of the duplexes are over 100 years old, and I typically don't recommend investing in homes older than maybe 60 or 70 because you get into issues where insurance companies don't want to cover them because they have knob and tube wiring, or there's certain safety issues, the fires, because they have balloon framing, they go up and fire quicker. So there's a lot of reasons that there's hidden expenses in much older properties as far as investing. So I don't typically recommend investing in them. They also have higher costs of maintenance long term. But then again, with any investment, price is important. If you get a rental property that's old and it's cheap enough that you can afford the maintenance and it makes sense, then you should proceed with it. The condition of the property when you invest is critical to your success in your investment. The desirability by a tenant pool, which reduces basically vacancy. So when you go out and look, although you kind of need 25% down as a purchase price for your rental, people will tend to gravitate to the lowest price rentals available or the lowest price homes. And sometimes they're in locations, well, that if you want to go there, you should bring personal security. And although those may appeal because they look lower, it also is more difficult to get tenants willing to live in those challenging areas that will pay their bills. So it may appear to be the best investment. At the same time, it may not produce the results that you're looking for. Also, you have to look at where you're investing based on the state. Every state in the United States has different landlord tenant codes. The state I'm originally from, which was Massachusetts, it takes almost a year and you have to hire a lawyer to evict. It's very, very difficult. I would never recommend investing in a rental in the state of Massachusetts. However, in the state of Delaware, we have a very fair and balanced landlord tenant code. And if a tenant doesn't pay within 45 to 60 days, we can have them on the street, regain the property, and get somebody in there that will pay. Of course, having a good property management company reduces your risks of evictions. The average eviction rate can be at 10, 15, 20%. However, as a property management company, we've been able to get it down to 0.5% because of the screening methods that we use. So gaining a property management company is something I would strongly recommend to anyone that is not extremely handy and has a deep experience in managing people and doing property management. I hope this is helpful. If there's a question you have that I didn't address, please feel free to email me. The email address is below, and I'd be glad to answer your questions. Have a great day.